there are new developments at this hour in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie.
That the Pima County Sheriff's Department, with assistance from the FBI, has now detained an individual for questioning in connection with the abduction of Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mother.
An 84-year-old widow living on heart medication suddenly evaporated without a trace from her home in just 41 fateful minutes. Cameras were disabled, a ransom note appeared, and most terrifyingly, the FBI suspects a traitor within the inner circle of trust sold out family information. What cruel person stands behind this perfect crime, and where is Mrs. Nancy now? What do you think about the chilling mysteries of this mysterious disappearance? Leave a comment right below, hit like, and subscribe to the channel to continue decoding this dark truth with us. More than 44 days have passed since Mrs. Nancy Guthrie, an 84-year-old widowed woman, disappeared without a trace from her own home in the Catalina foothills area of Tucson, Arizona. This story is not just an ordinary disappearance, but also a profound lesson about the fragility of life and the value of trust in the community. Mrs. Nancy is the mother of famous host Savannah Guthrie and a grandmother who always lived with a steadfast faith. She depends entirely on daily heart medication to sustain her life. Her family is anxiously waiting for news in unrelenting worry. The Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) has released notable information describing that someone was hired to provide internal information regarding the incident. The wording used precisely emphasizes that this was a carefully calculated crime. The buyer needed information they could not obtain themselves. The seller possessed private details and a price was exchanged. This information could only have come from someone within the victim's family's circle of trust. Mrs. Nancy's health condition makes everyone extremely concerned. So far, no proof of life has been publicly released. The ransom letters were not sent directly to the family, but instead to newspaper offices. Both deadlines passed in silence. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos stated on national television that he believes this was a pre-planned crime. Mrs. Nancy's home was intentionally targeted based on internal information. A task force has been formed with 5 officers from the Pima County Sheriff's Department, along with many FBI agents working full-time. The investigation is persistently narrowing the net. The FBI requested surveillance footage from the public for January 11th and January 24th, weeks before Mrs. Nancy disappeared on February 1st. This action shows that investigators are tracing signs of early scouting and surveillance. The Catalina foothills area is a large community with many elderly people living alone. Choosing a specific house and a specific victim was not accidental. Experts analyze that there must have been detailed information about daily habits, household structure, and security camera blind spots. This is the type of information that only someone within the circle of trust could provide. The story reminds us that trust is the foundation of relationships, but also needs to be protected wisely. Friends and neighbors in the community are sharing information responsibly. Many people have rechecked their home cameras and reported to the authorities. This is how the community demonstrates solidarity and mutual support during difficult times. Mrs. Nancy was once a part of warm family gatherings. She always looked forward to going to church on Sunday mornings after weekend dinners. Her disappearance has left a large void in the hearts of her loved ones. The Guthrie family has cooperated unconditionally with investigative agencies. All members, including siblings and their spouses, have been ruled out as suspects according to an official statement by Sheriff Nanos on February 16th. They have no criminal records and no verified motive for the crime. Online rumors about debts or powers of attorney have been investigated and dismissed. The family is focusing on finding Mrs. Nancy instead of responding to rumors. Tommaso, Mrs. Nancy's son-in-law, is a science teacher and brought her home at 9:48 p.m. on January 31st. He was one of the last people to see her. Despite this, he and the entire family have been cleared. Their cooperation shows a sense of responsibility toward the law and their loved ones. This story teaches us that we should not rush to conclusions based on rumors, but should wait for official information from authorities. A long-standing friendship between Tommaso and Dominic Evans has been mentioned in public analyses. They co-founded the band Early Black in 2007 and maintained a connection for nearly 2 decades. They practiced together, shared schedules, and met each other's families over time. Dominic Evans is a 5th grade teacher in Tucson and confirmed to the press that he only met Mrs. Nancy once in 2011. He learned of her disappearance through social media and texted Tommaso to check in. Public records from Pima County Court show that Dominic Evans has a history related to several past charges, including theft and other issues. However, it should be noted that law enforcement has not brought any official charges linking him to this case. He voluntarily cooperated with the FBI and the Sheriff's Department in an interview lasting about 40 minutes. Afterward, he was not contacted further and was not considered an official suspect. Sheriff Nanos expressed sympathy for his situation as his family was harassed by amateur sleuths. Evans and his wife Andrea, a school principal, have faced great pressure from public opinion. He shared that he felt hurt and his family is going through difficulties. Sheriff Nanos advised him to find a lawyer to protect his rights if necessary. His cooperation with authorities demonstrates a responsible civic spirit. The story reminds the community that every individual has the right to be respected until there is clear evidence from the law. The band Early Black once released an album titled Life, Love, Love, Murder. The music often explores dark aspects of life, but this title in the current context makes many people reflect. However, one should not over-speculate but should rely on verified facts. Music is a way for humans to express emotions and personal stories. Many artists have written about complex themes that are unrelated to actual behavior. On the fateful night of January 31st, Mrs. Nancy had dinner with her family at her daughter and son-in-law's house. Afterward, she took an Uber home. At 9:50 p.m., the garage camera recorded her entering safely. At 1:47 a.m. on February 1st, the doorbell camera was disconnected. At 2:12 a.m., motion sensors were activated. At 2:28 a.m., the pacemaker stopped syncing. The entire sequence took place in about 41 minutes. Bloodstains found at the entrance show that the incident happened quickly and seriously. Experts, former FBI agents, and police have analyzed that this short period shows a level of professionalism in the actions. Mrs. Nancy, at 84, with fragile health, would find it very difficult to survive long if moved under harsh conditions. The ransom letters sent to the media instead of the family are an anomaly compared to typical kidnapping cases. FBI agent Heath Yanka stated that in a typical kidnapping, criminals usually communicate directly. The fact that deadlines passed without new progress makes everyone even more worried. The Guthrie family has offered a $1 million reward for information leading to finding Mrs. Nancy. The FBI added another $100,000. The hotline 1-800-CALL-FBI and the website tips.fbi.gov are receiving information from the public. Thousands of hours of surveillance video from the area are being carefully reviewed. A mixed DNA sample from inside Mrs. Nancy's house is being analyzed at a private laboratory in Florida. These efforts show the determination of law enforcement to bring justice to the victim. The story of Mrs. Nancy Guthrie is not just news, but also an educational lesson for the community about personal security. Elderly people living alone need to install modern camera systems and maintain regular contact with relatives. Neighbors should pay attention to strange activities around the area, especially at night. Sharing surveillance camera information with authorities when requested is a way to contribute to collective safety. We also learned that trust must go hand in hand with vigilance. In long-term friendships or creative collaborations like a band, people often share personal lives naturally. However, when there are unusual signs, it is necessary to report to the authorities immediately instead of staying silent. The Tucson community is showing solidarity by supporting the Guthrie family and providing evidence if available. This is a testament to the power of joining hands. What do you think about the role of surveillance technology in protecting the elderly in modern society? Is there anything more we can do to prevent planned crimes early on? And how can we balance respecting privacy with community security needs? These questions are worth reflecting and acting upon for each of us. If you find this shared post useful, please like and subscribe to the channel to receive more responsible news updates and humanitarian lessons from real events. Your support will help spread positive messages and encourage the community to participate in protecting each other. In the context that the case is still under active investigation, all information needs to be carefully verified. Experts emphasize that spreading rumors can harm innocent people and delay the search process. Instead, we should focus on supporting the family and cooperating with the law. Mrs. Nancy is a mother and grandmother with a strong faith. She deserves to be found and returned to her loved ones. Every human life is precious, especially for the elderly, those who have dedicated their lives to family and society. Mrs. Nancy's disappearance reminds us of the responsibility to protect the vulnerable. Families should have clear security plans, such as periodic health checks and using medical tracking devices. Communities can organize educational programs on crime prevention for the elderly. The FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department are working tirelessly with a full-time task force. They have recovered more images from the scene cameras and are checking thousands of hours of video from specific days in January. The action of requesting cameras from the public shows they are expanding the search scope systematically. This persistence demonstrates a commitment to bringing justice and hope to the Guthrie family. Dominic Evans spoke publicly to the New York Times in late February. He expressed hurt when his family was harassed and emphasized that there are innocent people suffering. His wife, a school principal, was also affected in her daily life. Sheriff Nanos publicly supported him and described his situation as going through hell. This shows that authorities are balancing between investigation and protecting civil rights. The 17-year band relationship between Tommaso and Dominic is a part of normal creative life. Many bands exist through the years with shared memories of practice and performance. Sharing personal lives in that context is natural. However, the current incident reminds us that all relationships need to be viewed within a legal framework when there are unusual signs. Mrs. Nancy Guthrie is a symbol of a life full of faith and family love. Her disappearance has caught the nation's attention, and everyone is praying for her return. Experts from former FBI agents to local police all emphasize that this case requires patience and cooperation from all sides. We should not let rumors cloud the truth, but should believe in the legal process. The story also serves as a reminder of elderly health. Using daily heart medication like Mrs. Nancy's requires close monitoring from the family. Community health programs can support periodic checks and education on danger signs. When combined with home security, we will create a more comprehensive layer of protection for the previous generation. Tommaso Chioni, in his role as a teacher and family member, has demonstrated full cooperation. Dominic Evans has also participated in interviews and asserted his alibi. Although the public has many speculations, authorities are handling it based on evidence. This teaches us a lesson about respecting the judicial process and avoiding hasty judgments. The Catalina foothills area, with many homes and elderly people, needs increased patrols and security education. Community groups can organize meetings to share experiences on camera installation and emergency response. This proactivity will help minimize risks and increase mutual trust among neighbors. More than 44 days is a long time with the painful waiting of the family. However, the investigative force is not slowing down, but is becoming increasingly focused. The FBI has clearly stated that someone was hired to provide information. This emphasizes that the crime was not random but prepared. The community needs to raise awareness to detect strange signs early. We can learn from similar cases elsewhere in the world where communities have succeeded in supporting the search for missing persons. Using social media responsibly to spread official information from the FBI is an example. Avoiding the sharing of fake news will help maintain a positive atmosphere and focus on the common goal of finding Mrs. Nancy. The Guthrie family, with the $1 million reward, is hoping for help from the public. Many people have contacted the hotline and provided videos. Every contribution, no matter how small, has value. This is a way to show compassion and good citizenship. Mrs. Nancy would certainly be proud of the power of solidarity her story has ignited. In music and art, humans often explore complex themes such as love life and even the dark side. The band Early Black, with its album title, is a part of a creative journey. It should not be directly linked to reality, but should be viewed in an artistic context. Many artists have created profound works while their personal lives remain normal and law-abiding. Sheriff Nanos and his team are receiving support from the FBI at the federal level. Their press conferences and public statements help the public better understand the progress. Requesting cameras from 2 specific days in January shows they are working methodically. The public should continue to cooperate by rechecking old data if available. The educational lesson from this incident also lies in protecting personal information. In the digital age, everyone needs to be careful with what they share on social media. Details about homes' habits and families can be exploited if they fall into the wrong hands. Cybersecurity awareness education should be included in school curricula and the community. Have you ever thought that a long-standing friendship could inadvertently provide sensitive information? Does your family have a plan to protect the elderly yet? And how can our community improve to better support vulnerable people? These reflections will help build a safer and more humane society. If this content brings value to you, please like the video to encourage the creation of more quality posts. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to promptly update verified news. Together we can contribute to spreading knowledge and kindness in society. As of the current moment, the case is still in the active investigation stage. No proof of life has been released, but hope is still maintained. Mrs. Nancy's family continues to call on the public to provide information. The FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department are committed to not stopping their efforts until there is a clear answer. Mrs. Nancy Guthrie, with her porch and simple life, has become a symbol of the common concern of many families with elderly members. Her story teaches us to cherish every moment with loved ones. Take time to check the health and security of your parents and grandparents today. A small action can prevent a large tragedy. Finally, Mrs. Nancy's case reminds us that justice, though slow, will come. Each of us has a role in maintaining a society where crime is condemned and victims are protected. Live with compassion and responsibility so that no one has to suffer alone. Mrs. Nancy deserves to return home and continue her peaceful life with her family.